All right, Ray, we have more problems, and now we're seeing it in the numbers. We have Stellantis, their sales fall 7% in Q4, and this is right after they reported a sales increase, I think, in Q3. So this is very interesting to me. So we know that they dropped quite a few prices at the end of last year, and it helped sales. But that was only short lived, right? Because I guess you can, if it's junk and nobody wants to buy it, you lower the price a little bit, and then a few more people will buy it. But you got to lower the price a whole lot if you want to get people into these Jeep, Dodge, and Rams. And the amount that they've lowered them so far is not enough. Sales have fallen 7% in the last quarter. What are they going to do?
I don't know. Eventually go out of business, perhaps. I don't know. They have, Zach and I talked about this earlier today. Their sales peaked at 2.26 million new cars back, I think it was 2015. This past year, 2024, they sold 1.3 million new cars. That's almost a 50% decline. It was a 42% decline from their peak. And they have been moving in the wrong direction steadily for the last 5 years. I mean, we haven't seen like a minor decline in sales over the last. It's been major, and they enhanced some of their incentives in the fourth quarter to alleviate some of the excess inventory that they have. And they claim that they have been successful at doing that. And yet, even with that, sales for the quarter were down 7% year over year. It is the definition of moving in the wrong direction. Zach always reminds me, we want to see, when we're looking at charts like that, we want to see the charts going up and to the right, and not down and to the right. And Stellantis has just been steadily going down and to the right for the last 5 years. And now they've decided that, perhaps we should address that.
And the interesting thing about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, but this is not sales from consumer level. This is sales to their dealerships. This is what they're actually delivering to their dealership. Is that right?
No, these are the retail sales. Okay. So yeah, when you see these reports, these are the retail sales for a quarter, and so this is what's been reported as a retail delivery to the manufacturer. And that's what they're counting. Those and fleet sales. Stellantis does not count what they sell to their dealer body. They do, I guess, for their accounting for the manufacturer itself, but that does not count towards the retail sales.
So this is going to lead me to my next thing. Then we have the survey that just came out that saying that now they are the least trusted. It was Ford, and this Ford's all derived from all of that EV nonsense where they were making dealers build out all of these the millions of dollars worth of equipment so they could house all of these EVs on their lots to be able to sell them because it was going to be a great thing, right? We know that that's not the case, and Ford dealers should have been really, really pissed off at Ford because of all this money that was sitting on their dealerships not moving. But now this is even more of a problem for Stellantis dealers, and they now do not like the direction that Stellantis is going in. I wonder if the CEO resigning and if some of these rumors about MSRPs getting cut, I wonder if that is going to help when they do this survey again a month, 2 months from now, to be able to increase some of their trust, because it does seem like Stellantis, however much it may be, they are going to change something.
Oh, well, they have to change something. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the survey took place from July through November. So this survey took place prior to Carlos Tavares's resignation on December 1st. Um, and let's face it, with the buildup of inventory to the degree that it was building up, with the lack of uh, incentives from Stellantis to help move the excess inventory in North America, there would have been no reason for a Stellantis dealer to trust what was going on at Stellantis, because dealers had been begging for help for the last 18 to 24 months because they saw this all developing. They could see their inventory levels swelling. They could see customer enthusiasm declining. So they saw it all happening. They shared that with their factory representatives. They shared that with the executives in North America, and what they got was no help. And so, yeah, why would you trust your manufacturer partner when they've shown you they're not trustworthy and they don't want to work with you? I mean, I think the numbers 72% of the Stellantis dealers that are surveyed don't trust what Stellantis was doing or is doing. Now, I believe that will turn around now that Tavares has resigned, and John Elkin, as the head of the board, is overseeing things until they get a new CEO. So, of course, I would think the next time this survey's done, that perhaps Ford will regain its position as the least trusted brand from its dealer body.
So I have a question for you, someone who's worked at new car franchises before. If you see these, let's not even call them rumors at this point. Let's say that it's going to be released that they're actually going to cut MSRPs by 35% across the board, and you have a lot that's absolutely jam packed with 2023s and 2024s.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a net positive announcement for you as a franchise dealer or a net negative announcement?
Well, if rumors are coming out that there will be future price reductions up to 35% off of MSRP from the manufacturer, if those rumors are leaking out and you're sitting on inventory that's overpriced to begin with, and the general public is starting to hear about those rumors, this is a net negative for the dealer, because the dealer is thinking, well, how the hell am I going to sell the stuff I already have if they don't give me, I don't know, a 35% assistance when I go to sell it? There better be something from Stellantis coming to me to help me sell this stagnant product that's been sitting around for the longest time, before they do make the official announcement that moving forward they're going to reduce the MSRPs of all their vehicles. So, as a dealer, the last thing internally, you're thrilled to hear that they're going to lower prices if it's only being heard internally. But if it suddenly gets out externally and the buying public finds out, well, why wouldn't they just wait? Why would they come to your dealership and buy any of this crap now?
So, what are you doing as, say, a franchise manager that has to deal with inventory, and you know that you have trucks of 2025s that are coming in, and you still got this full lot? What are you doing if you get internally this memo that, okay, they are lowering MSRPs and there are up to 35% across the board that they're lowering this MSRPs? What are you doing today in anticipation of that?
I am lowering my asking prices. I will put on the website the huge discounts that and it might even be something, because I always did things differently. It might be something as all Ram 1500s. Selling price is pick out your Ram. We'll share the invoice with you. It could be invoice less $5,000 or whatever it is. So pick a number, take a hit. it's costing you money to have the damn vehicle sit there. Just turn them into some cash. So I mean, that's what I would do. I would market the stuff. I would advertise the stuff that we're selling. Pick your vehicle. We'll show you the invoice, and then we'll deduct $5,000 plus any manufacturer incentives on top of that, because you've got to get rid of them. None of these vehicles, unless it's like an Enzo Ferrari, none of these vehicles is like a fine wine and going up in value. They're just not. And you have to recognize that. And you have to realize that, like an old wine, it can just turn into vinegar. So get rid of it at whatever cost it takes to get rid of it. And I say that, and that's how I say I would do it. Now, you can go to all these dealers out there that have way too much inventory, that are sitting on all this stuff, and they're still trying to be pigs, and they're still trying to add addendum labels. And in many cases, they're refusing to do any type of heavy discounting. Well, eventually those dealers are going to choke on the floor plan interest and perhaps even go out of business. But last time I checked, cash is king, and cash flow is important to a business. And you can't just have all the cash tied up in inventory that's sitting there that nobody's willing to buy, or that you're not willing to sell at the price point the customer's willing to buy it for.
All right, so all of you watching it here, I know most of you are not subscribed, so I need you to hit that subscribe button. Whatever we need to do to get you to hit that subscribe button, Ray will do it. So just hit it for us and let us know what he needs to do down in the comments to get you to subscribe. And here's a second part to that question. I'm curious to know how you're going to answer this, but let's say they are planning on increasing their MSRPs. What does that do? This is a question or a comment from Dan. It says, think about what does the consumer's negative equity position, what does that look like now? So what does that do for you that you're having trade-ins come in? Say you have a consumer that wants to buy a 2024 like a Jeep Wrangler or Rubicon or something like that, and they bring in their 2022 in. What are you doing now for their trade-in? Because you can't give them, I would assume, anything for it.
I'm looking at the wholesale value, and I'm deducting 20 to 30% from wholesale values, because if the retail asking price of the new one is going to go down 30 to 35%, well, that's going to destroy the value of the used ones. And if you trade a used one, you have to trade it at such a low number that you would be able to sell it for well below what these new ones are going to go for when the 35% deduction comes in. So yeah, if I were running a dealership, the first conversation I'm having with the used car manager is, I don't care what book is. You got to be well back a book. If book is 30 and we know that the new ones are going to go down 30%, so that's $9,000. That becomes that $30,000 vehicle becomes a $20,000 vehicle or less. And yes, that's only going to exacerbate the negative equity position for any of these Stellantis product owners out there. You're going to destroy the resale value of the older ones, but it's what you have to do in order to move the new ones.
Now, I know me and you, from at least the sources that we've talked to, we believe that this is coming into the market, but still at this point, it's still technically a rumor, right? It's not being reported from Stellantis. It's not being reported by any media outlet or anything, but I mean, in our opinions, we feel like it's coming.
Yes.
But if you are a franchise dealer, now let's turn the scenario where, okay, you're hearing some of these headlines from us, from TK, from Car Edge. I mean, I'm reporting it on my main channel too, just from things that we're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just hearing that and you don't know that it's a concrete thing, is that changing anything about how you're running business right now? Are you being more negotiable, even more than you already needed to anyway, just because you're concerned that maybe this is a thing, or are you just kind of wiping off this rumor and not doing anything until you know something's coming?
I think you're having serious conversations with your factory reps. At the dealership level, you're going to have a conversation with your factory rep on the sales side of things. What is he hearing? What's going on? How much truth is there to this rumor? There's that old saying: if there's smoke, there's fire. These rumors wouldn't be coming out if there wasn't something to them, and the dealer body, for the most part, would probably applaud having Stellantis lower the MSRPs 30 to 35% across the board moving forward, because that's at least saying, hey, we recognized we raised our pricing way too much. We lost our way. We took the customers who were loyal to us and we turned you folks away, and we want to bring you back. So that ultimately that should be a good thing for dealers. But if they're starting to hear these rumors, then they know what's about to happen. And you would think that they would react proactively in order to protect themselves moving forward. And what I mean by that is you have to take whatever you can get and turn that boat anchor into some form of cash. You just have to.
And these dealers, these managers, they can't be surprised by any of this news at this point. I mean, I go to there's a Jeep, Dodge, and Ram dealership I go to all the time, and I've talked to one of their salespeople he's on the fleet side, so he doesn't deal with retail, but he said that okay, the fleet side is still pretty strong, but he said they can go through days where they don't sell one vehicle on the new cars. This is a big dealership. And for you not to sell one car retail, like at my small car lot, we have 130 something cars right now, but usually we'll have 70, 80 cars throughout the year where we're not trying to load up. If we don't sell one car in a day, I'm not happy. We need to sell more than one car in a day. We're small dealerships. So I can't even imagine what these franchise managers, what's going through their head. But when they get this news, in my opinion, I don't know that this is the case because they're going to have a lot of trouble getting rid of the stuff they have already. But in my opinion, it would be almost like a relief if I'm running the store. Be like, okay, well, now maybe I can get somebody into a $25,000 to $35,000 car instead of having to try to push this $55,000 junk that nobody can afford. I can't even get an approval for a loan for these. So maybe in the short term, it's difficult for me, but it should make my next year way easier.
Oh my God, it sounds like they should sell their entire new car inventory to Carvana, and Carvana can show them how to unload it. I remember I used to work with a gentleman who, one of the managers I used to work with, and this is the one thing he said to me that always resonated. He said, "I'll be damned if I'm going to trade a day of my life so that we don't sell anything at all." In other words, if we're coming to work, we're not calling the owner later that night to report that we sold 0 cars. I'm not trading the day of my life to accomplish nothing. So if I were a manager at one of these stores, whatever you got to do. I worked for a GM one time who said to me, "Here's how we have to look at it, Ray. I want you to do whatever it takes, including if you have to lose money in order to make the first car deal of the day to get the day started. And I want you to do whatever it takes, including to lose money, to get the last car deal of the day, just so we've accomplished something." Now, here's the real problem, Ray.
What if you only sell 2 cars?
Here's the real problem, Ray. You never know if the first one's also going to be the last one, or the last one's also the first one. So, in other words, you have to attack every opportunity as if it is either the first one or the last one. and you just do whatever the hell it takes to make that car deal. And if you don't go into the dealership as a manager with that attitude, then ultimately what you're going to do is you're going to pass on a car deal that a different manager at a different store with a different attitude will take. And there is no reason to ever lose your local customer to someone else because you decided that you needed more profit than your competitor did. So you just have to approach every car sale as if it's the first one or the last one of the day and do whatever the hell it takes.
So why aren't we back to that mentality in the car market yet? It feels like there's inventory sitting everywhere. Day supply is above where almost any of these manufacturers want it to be. Yet we still have this fight that's going on at dealerships, and they're not trying to play the volume game like they used to. It seems like everything is in place for us to get back to playing the volume game, but we're not back there yet. Why? What's holding us up?
I don't know. Maybe the issue is I'm old school. Let's not forget I started in the car business in 1977. I learned differently. I had different mentors over the course of time. Maybe some dealers are younger, haven't experienced the ups and downs of the industry as much as someone like myself. Uh, it's hard to say. Some dealers hang their hat on awards and not income. I don't know. I just you would. It just seems to me that as the cost of carrying your inventory continues to go up, and it goes up because A, interest rates are slightly higher than where they had been, and B, the amount of inventory you're carrying is higher than it's been, that there is no greater time to be aggressive than now. And how dealers can justify not being aggressive is beyond me. I said it earlier in the show. This is not like a fine wine. It's not getting better with age. None of these cars are. So you have to accept that fact.
Yeah, I don't get how these dealerships don't like it's like it seems so obvious to me. Maybe it's not obvious to me, and I think it's an element of okay, they went through these last 4 years where they could charge the moon and people would just pay it, and now we're getting to a time where okay, you've got to do some work to make a deal happen, and maybe they just got lazy, or maybe they just think we're still in this Goldilocks zone. But they can't know that. They have to have managers breathing down their necks at every level, saying, "Okay, something's not happening. What we got to fix something. Something needs to. It's broken." If I have 1 month at my car dealership where we break even, or even just make a little bit of money, I'm like, okay, so we're doing something wrong because I would like to move more cars. What are we doing wrong here? Let's find out. Let's fix it. Do we have the wrong cars? Are we taking too long to get them fixed? Are we not buying enough? What I want to know what's wrong here. And it seems like these owners, these GMs that are looking at these numbers, they have to be saying, okay, we got to do something now, and it's just got to boil down to price. I would assume at that point.
Well, you know, for the customer to say yes, the perception has to be that the value of what it is that you're selling is exceeding the asking price. If you're a Stellantis dealer, your customers are telling you the value, the asking price is so far above what we perceive to be the value of your product. And whether it be Stellantis or other brands as well, the dealer doesn't get to set the market, the customer does. If you're a dealer and you're just holding on to your inventory, you're kind of doing it ass backwards. The whole concept of having a dealership was to be able to have a constant supply of product that you could then turn around and sell to your ultimate retail customer. And you want to keep that flow going. If you're refusing to sell it to your ultimate retail customer because you're desiring a higher gross profit per vehicle, that seems ass backwards to me. To me, the concept is you're buying it to sell it. Sometimes you're going to make a profit, sometimes you're not.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah, it's in your opinion. I don't think we have to worry about the car market suing us, Ray.
You never know. This is a very litigious country. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell every living person you know that they need to subscribe to Car Sense with Brandon and Ray.